that straight up as well.
Then I will introduce us and get it started.
Cool.
So hello, everybody. Christine here, and I have a longtime friend. We used to, practice real estate together back in Tallahassee, way back in the day. So she's here to talk to us about getting well from the inside and outside. So I'd love to welcome Colleen Riddle to the table.
Thanks, Christine. It's so great to see you. Gosh, that was another lifetime ago, wasn't it?
I know, right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I'm so excited to be here. I just appreciate you reaching out to me and, wanting to talk about wellness. And, there's so many aspects to wellness. And so I'll just give you a little background of me. Since I left you, I know we stay in touch through Facebook. But for those of you out here, just to kind of give you a little background on who I am and why I know what I'm talking about on some stuff. But so I left real estate and got into health and wellness. So I started my own personal training business, and that was, over 14 years ago. And just my passion has always been, fitness and exercise and teaching people. I actually went to Florida State for elementary education. And so I love teaching. And so I combined that and started my personal training business years ago, and absolutely love talking about wellness in all areas. So, that's exercise, of course, nutrition. I always say you can't out-train a bad diet. So that nutrition aspect is a big piece. And, mental health, taking care of our mind. There's so much that goes along there. Sleep, hydration, all these things are a huge part to make up our overall wellness. And then, so, fast forwarding, about 3 years ago, I realized that I was missing a huge chunk of my own wellness, and that is chemicals. It was brought to my attention about 3 years ago that all the hidden chemicals that are in our personal care products. And I had no idea. So everything from makeup to shampoo to what we clean our homes with to deodorant, everything, and has these hidden chemicals and things like parabens and phthalates. And when I realized, wow, I didn't even know I needed to read a label, right? Because I teach my clients how to read a food label.
And I have just been enlightened to that in the last few months as well. I think it's pretty common knowledge that I have an autoimmune. So just like you said, and all those things that they're chemicals because you can't pronounce them and they're this long and you're like, it's not real things. And it's like you said, it's in everything. And of course, our skin is our biggest organ. So we're absorbing all that stuff.
Absolutely. And so this was a huge eye-opener. I'm like, here I am in the health and wellness industry, and I had no idea that these hidden chemicals, were there, and then what they're doing to us. So the main thing is a big chunk of them are endocrine disruptors. So that means it's messing with our endocrine system, which you're very familiar with, right? Mm-hmm. Messing with your thyroid, reproductive, messing with weight, messing with mental health. These toxins affect our brain and can lead to depression and anxiety. And so I am a huge advocate for creating awareness and starting to learn, like, okay, well, what kind of chemicals do I need to look for in my things? And so I actually have a dirty dozen, like a list of 12 things to look for in your product. So I'm happy to share that if somebody wants access to that. And then there's a great documentary. A lot of us are home right now and have time to watch Netflix, right? So if you want a break from binging on something, Stink. So like Stink, S-T-I-N-K, is an awesome documentary that talks about this and talks about the loopholes of with the chemical companies and how they can put certain things in our goods. And it's very eye-opening.
Like circumventing through FDA.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So very eye-opening for that. So just wanted to throw that out there because that's a whole element that has been new to me in the past 3 years. And so and it really does affect so much of what we're doing. And you wouldn't think, okay, the lotion that I put on my body every day is affecting my thyroid or is affecting my mental health and my mood. It's kind of crazy how.
So as you become aware of this, what are some of the changes that you've made in your life?
Yeah, so I just slowly started. So first I like, okay, what do I need to look for? So creating that awareness, right? And starting to pay attention of what I was putting on my body. And so I just slowly, because you can't do it overnight, right? I mean, we can't afford to just go, okay, throw out my laundry detergent and everything in my house and just get new stuff. I just slowly, month by month, transitioned, and I started noticing that I had more energy. I started noticing that I just felt like clearer minded, which was kind of crazy. And one thing that was amazing to me after my first year of kind of going chemical free, I go to the doctor once a year for a checkup, and my weight is always pretty much the same. I don't fluctuate very much. And I'd lost 5 pounds, and I hadn't done anything else, like just workouts the same, eating the same, all that stuff. The only thing I'd done is gotten toxins out of my life. And I was like, so I started researching that, like toxins and fat, and discovered that toxins are actually held in our fat. So if you could get, isn't that crazy?
A double whammy.
I know, right? So I actually, in fact, I have a couple books that I keep on my desk. Okay, so this is a really great book, Your Health Has Been Hijacked. Just awesome, very eye-opening information. And then this Doctor's Guide to Essential Rewards, but it talks about in here, because most toxins and chemicals are stored in fatty tissue, there seems to be a vicious cycle. The more toxins and chemicals absorbed in the body, the higher chance of increased fat mass. So it's amazing to me how so many factors, if you can slowly get those chemicals out of your daily intake. And of course, I'm actually doing a class, because we can go on to a different topic, but if this topic interests anybody out there, tomorrow's Tuesday, right? Anybody else?
Yeah, I know, right? We're losing
on their days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, I am doing a Zoom class, about 30 minutes, on chemicals that are, I'm focusing mainly on cleaning products, because so much, we're cleaning so often right now, and some of the hidden things that are there and what to look out for, and then how to shift and make some better options. So
how would somebody get in touch with you to register for that?
Yeah, let's see. My Facebook is probably the best. I should have sent you the little graphic, but maybe we can put it with it, because I've got the link to this.
Yeah, we'll replay this in a little while, so we can do that as well. Sure.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so that's one big piece. And then, I think an important thing right now is our mental health, right? And, gets a little.
And Colleen, I just before we jumped on this call, I was going through my news feed, and I saw yet another post where a 48-year-old beautiful, vibrant woman just took her life. So that's like the third one I've seen in a week. And, there's so many that we don't know about, because that's a private matter for folks. And I'm a realist. You've known me for years. And so I don't want people to circumvent around the fact that this is affecting us. Like you said, it's not the financially or the health issue. I do know people that have had the virus, or people that have lost people, but the mental health, it is affecting people. The isolation, the unknowing, right? We're not in control of the situation, and it is affecting people mentally, and that depression denigrates your brain.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And like you said, that unknown. So let me give you some tips that you can do that you are in control of, right?
Sure.
So one of the things that is very powerful is meditation. So that is something that has been new to me probably in the last year. My brain's going constantly, go, 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 go. So it has been a hard thing for me to wrap my brain around, literally. But I did this awesome, and I actually this is another thing I can offer y'all, is this 21-day meditation challenge. And it's Deepak Chopra, if you're familiar with.
And Oprah, right?
Oprah, yeah.
Yes. I've done it. Yes.
Well,
not the whole thing, but yes, they just had it for free during COVID.
Yeah. And so a friend of mine put it together on a text. So there's a number you can text, and then each day you'll get the next one, which I like because then it'll remind me to do it. But what I love about that one, and I have a couple different ones, but this one is abundance. And so the first part, you get a centered thought for the day, right? So I think if we can put our mindset in a certain state, so taking that, what I love is they're only like 10 to 15 minutes. And the actual meditation part where you're actually quiet is only about 5 minutes. So that's something I could get behind, right? It's like, okay, I can train my brain here. But I notice on the days, because I just did this, I just finished it. On the days I did it, I noticed a difference in my attitude, like the way I responded to things that would come at me throughout the day versus the days that I didn't do the meditation. It was amazing. I felt more on edge. I felt more tense. And so I'm really making that habit of adding that meditation in. So there's tons of them out there, you guys. So, find something that works for you, but I highly encourage you to add that in because that's something we can control. And then you pair that with breathing. So, do you do any, do you ever stop like when you're feeling overwhelmed and do breathing?
Yeah. I am practicing all of that. So the meditation is hard for me because like you, the brain doesn't stop. And I've always had problems sleeping and it's all related, right? And yet back to your other point is we know that if you don't get restful sleep, it denigrates your body as well. So it's all related. Yeah. So the meditation I've worked on, I've done, I think 3 of the 21, they came out with the series for the pandemic. I believe this one was Hope.
Okay, cool.
But maybe it's the same one, but I've done some of those. I have a meditation app, Let's Meditate. I know people use Calm. So I do try to do some of those in the morning. What I'm thinking about for myself is doing them at night to unwind my brain at night when I'm all dizzy from the day.
Yeah.
What works for me, and this is what I'm telling people too, is we need to get back into a routine, first of all, right? So that's right. One thing, because the world's going to open up. When we don't know. So you've got to get back into routine, put your clothes on, put your makeup on, shower every day. People got out of the habit. Well, right. That creates the depression as well.
Absolutely.
So we can control ourselves. Yeah. So what I'm finally back to my morning exercise because I used to be an athlete, in high school and whatnot, is the morning exercise works for me both mentally and I think more my metabolism. If I exercise on an empty stomach, that gets me going for the day. Do you have advice? Do people do differently? I know some people go after work. Do you have advice on, is there a better time scientifically or?
Everyone has their own body clock, like literally of when they're the most alert, when they're the most functional. And so what I tell people is whatever works for your schedule. Because if I tell you, the best time to work out is in the morning and you just are not a morning person, then I'd rather, do it at night. It doesn't matter as long as you do it, what works for you. But I have found if you can do it in the morning, a couple things happen. You're right about boosting your metabolism, which is interesting because, nutrition advice goes like this, right? It's like, eat carbs, don't eat carbs. Well, when I, did all my nutrition training, it was, eat breakfast. It's the most important, meal of the day. Well, about 1.5 years ago, I started looking into the intermittent fasting and started reading research about that. And it made complete sense. Let your body, your internal organs rest and not always be digesting food. So then when you do that morning exercise, your body uses fat for fuel instead of, whatever you put in it that morning for breakfast.
So that may really be working for my body. I really
absolutely.
feel like that's why I lose weight, doing it on an empty stomach and eating breakfast when I get back.
Yep, absolutely. Look at you. You're ahead of the game and you didn't even know it.
Well, and I just feel better that way. And I just feel like being at 50 years old now, and that I do have an autoimmune which affects my thyroid and metabolism and whatnot, that I have to be extra conscientious and do these extra things. So I noticed that I got off track and I was exercising. I have been during the pandemic almost every day, but I've been riding my bike in the afternoon, or in the evenings, and I gained weight like everybody else. Yeah. So I'm like, what just happened? So I'm like, wait a minute. I know what works for my body. Doing it in the morning on an empty stomach. Then I'll come home and reward myself with my coffee and my eggs and do my shower.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting that again, and I think that will help.
Yep. And so I think, during this time that we are in quarantine, doing something every day to move your body, even if it's just 10 minutes, and if you can go outside and walk around the block, like getting that sunshine, getting that fresh air, talking about mental health is huge. But also when you move your body and you exercise, you're actually pushing toxins and getting that lymphatic fluid moving, which is important for your immune system to keep everything moving. So that's an important piece too, mental and physical, making sure you're getting your exercise in. And one of the things I'll throw out, something that I decided to do, just last week I released it. So I have fitness series online. It's called New Mommy Makeover. And when I designed it years ago, I designed it for new moms, but I just uploaded it online. They were DVDs. Well, DVDs so old school, right? So old fashioned. So I uploaded them online so people could, purchase it online. Well, what I did is I started watching these workout videos again. And I was like, these are awesome workouts. Like they're 30-minute full body workouts, and you don't have to be a new mom to, get the benefits. And so I thought, because over the years I've had grandmas do it, I've had dads do it, I've had people who've never had babies do it and love it. So I thought, you know what, I want to give back and I want to offer this for free to anyone. And so it's 9 different workouts. It's a 12-week system. You can do it in your home. All you need is a set of dumbbells and a small space, and you get a 30-minute workout in. So that you just go to newmommymakeover.com and fill out. And again, like I said, don't worry if you're not a new mom. It's amazing how great these workouts are. I'd forgotten. I'm like, I'm going to give it, because people are either not working out because they don't know what to do, or they're doing the same dang thing and they're tired of it, So here I decided I'm going to offer that for free. And I'll even have a Facebook group so that we can all support each other, because I think community right now is another big piece, like staying connected as much as possible, even though we can't be, in our normal everyday connection. I think staying connected in some sort of a community is very helpful. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to offer these for free and create a community of people that, want to stay exercising. You have access to me. So it's basically like, free coaching. I'm there to answer any questions. So that is kind of my little gift that I'm doing right now during this pandemic, quarantine. Yeah. I don't even know what to.
I know. I call it the COVID crisis.
Yes.
Yeah. And so on that note, again, yeah, you are a trainer and you're all about nutrition and everything. What are some of the services that you can offer to folks? Because you are in the most beautiful part of Florida, Destin. So how can you help people in different areas?
Yep. So I do, actually, I do personal training on Zoom, which is what I'm doing now, to kind of transition some of my clients. So literally I write the workouts, I get in my gym there in their home, and I train them like I was right there. So that's one thing I offer, is one-on-one personal training. And that's really, I don't do a whole lot of, I used to do some online coaching. I don't do much of that anymore. My passion is helping people get chemical free. That's where I am spending a majority of my time, because I can help so many more people. One-on-one training is awesome and I love it, but it's only, I can only do so much. Whereas if I can start educating people through my side business, then that's what I'm doing. And so I'm educating people and helping them get on that path to get chemical free.
So do you have education seminars for that, or can you do personal assessments for people, or how do they get started?
Yeah. So I love to just have conversations, like, let's, grab a cup of tea and get on Zoom, have a conversation, tell me what's going on in your life, and then let's talk about how to get you started. But I have classes, like online classes. So like Tuesday night, I'm doing a class on cleaning. I'm going to do a makeup class coming up here soon. I have a friend of mine that is a makeup artist, and we're going to talk about how to use our chemical-free makeup. She's going to do a fun little online class. I do online classes of Essential Oils 101, like how to transition your medicine cabinet to get rid of the toxins and use more natural remedies. So I'm constantly doing, education online.
Yeah, because on that note, they just came out saying the FDA wants us to recall our Zantac and our heartburn medicine because the whatever the word is starts with an R, that it's creating cancer in our bodies, and we were taking that to fix another problem, and now it's creating a bigger problem.
Oh, girl, I can't go and get me started there. I could talk for hours on that. So that is what I am an advocate for, is teaching people how to go a more holistic way. And we've got an oil that can help to support your digestive system that works. So and then one of the things we talked about, breathing. So like I have my diffuser right here. So essential oils actually work. When you breathe them in, it goes to the limbic part of your brain. Well, the limbic part of your brain is emotions, it's blood pressure, it's stress. So it is amazing. Like that's why essential oils actually work. When you breathe them in, it literally goes to your brain and you have an effect immediately within 26 seconds. And I had no, 3 years ago, I never even used essential oils. I thought they were just like for hippies, and I had no idea. I thought they just smelled good, or that they didn't realize they had an actual effect, And
I'm so excited. I am a step ahead of the game. So during the pandemic, as I was stocking up on supplies, I found one on clearance at Big Lots, and it emits these different colors. So it's cool looking, and it is a diffuser. So I have been using it, and it's, first of all, again, it's pretty. And then you see the little mist come up. I'm like, wow. And I feel like my environment is so much calmer these days, and I don't use it every day, but I'm doing that. So yes, and I've got the reeds with essential oil in different places in my house. I'm like, wow, I'm okay on lockdown because my house is very peaceful. So maybe I am putting it out in the air.
Yeah. And yeah. And so, on that note, because we want a calm and peaceful environment, but 3 things, my cat just jumped up here. It made me think of it too.
Let me see, is he there?
Yeah, he's right behind here. I'm sure you'll see his tail. You'll hear things knocking down. But 3 things that mainly in our home that are really chemical is candles. I hate to be when I found that out, I was like, I love candles. Candles, plug-ins. So those of us who do have animals, I used to have plug-ins all around my house because I didn't want my house to smell. And then air freshener. So those 3 things have massive toxins in them, and we are breathing them in. Our little fur babies are breathing them in, and it's not good. So you can ditch all 3 of those things by using a diffuser and getting high quality, clean essential oils. So just a side note, but it really does affect your mood. There's oils for everything as far as, so I love to teach like a 101 class, and just like some basic oils and how you can use them and what they're used.
Awesome.
This is
and the other thing I'd like to bring up as I reach across here is, can you tell us a little about, you are a co-author of a book.
Yes.
The Power of Equilibrium. What's this all about?
Yeah. So I had a friend of mine reach out to me a couple years ago, and he's like, Colleen, I always see 333. Every time, when I look at a clock, 333. And he said, it came to me that means mind, body, spirit. And he's like, I want to do, I have this idea to do some workshops and like some retreats and mind, body, and spirit. And he said, you're the first person I thought of when it came to body. He's like, I love your philosophies on wellness. Would you be open to, doing something together? I was like, heck yeah, absolutely. Well, then about a month later, he goes, I think we need to write a book. And I'm like, hold on, I'm not a writer. And he said, you have so many great thoughts though. He's like, I'll help you. He's like, just, let's get your thoughts down on paper. And he's like, I've got a guy who's really awesome with spirit, and spirit is, whatever you make it. Spirit in this book is not religion. It's your spirit and connection to something greater. But anyway, so we got together, and the 3 of us, and we each wrote 3 chapters. My chapters are on body, mind, and spirit. And so mine on the body, I break it down into just some 3 basic things. I talk about falling in love with the process of getting healthy, because, if we focus on the grind and, oh, I have to work out, and it's miserable. But when you can focus on the process, if like say you love to run, you know, focus on the beauty and the beautiful things that you get to see while you're on your run. So I talk about that. I talk about breaking things down, like your goals, into small chunks, which is what we should do with any goal, right? Real estate goals,
Right.
anything like that. You know, and so I think a lot of times with wellness, people try to change everything at one time. They're like, I'm going to work out every day. I'm getting rid of all the sugar. I'm not drinking anymore. You know, they try to do everything all at once, and it sets you up for failure. So I teach, you know, so what I talk about in the book is like, you know what, on your first week, just pick one or two things that you're going to focus on. You know, maybe it's water. Like water is such a huge thing, you guys, talking about wellness.
Got two of them right here.
Yes. It is huge. And it's really important with our immune system, to support our immune system, to stay hydrated. But, you know, and here's a little tip. Did you know that minimum, you should drink half of your body weight in ounces?
Well, thank you, because, you know, we hear different things depending on who's promoting it. So yes, since I work from home like you, I just keep water by my side all day long.
Yep.
And the one thing I have gotten better at is, instead of buying, you know, cases and cases of bottled water, is I'll go refill the darn thing with the filtered water from the fridge. And that way it's still fresh water.
Awesome. Yeah. So I talk about things like that, you know, breaking down your goals into manageable things. And I talk a little bit about diet in there. So it's a great book because it does encompass those three things. So you kind of get three different perspectives too, because it's three different authors. So I think it's a great book to just have that mind, body, and spirit, and how can I improve each of those areas of my life? Because I feel like when you can find some balance of those three things, that's when you really soar, right? You can be awesome in one area, but have something else be really low, and you're walking around all out of whack. So
first of all, a couple questions, but where would people find the book? How would they be able
Amazon. You can go to Amazon. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And then another thing is, so if somebody, you know, they're like, I'm going to walk 3 miles every day this week, and Wednesday comes around and they just have a hard time getting out of bed and they miss it, so they beat themselves up all day. What's your advice if you're off track?
Yeah, give yourself grace. It's okay. You don't have to be on all the time. I'm 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the time you're on, don't beat yourself up. In fact, like yesterday, I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't really in a funk. I just did not feel like exercising. And so what I ended up doing, instead of not doing anything, I had to get on a conference call. So what I did is I just put my earbuds in and walked slow on my treadmill while I was doing the conference call. So it wasn't like, you know, it was better than nothing. It was better than sitting at my desk doing it. So things like that, or, you know, like I said, even if nothing else, just going outside and walking around the block one time. Or if you don't feel like doing anything, that's okay. You know, I mean, I used to be so hard on myself. And as I've gotten older, it's like, you know what? If I don't feel like it, I don't feel like it. And that's okay. Because tomorrow I can make new decisions.
And same philosophy. I tell people, again, give yourself grace. I say that all the time. Love that. Give yourself the grace to be human. We're never going to be perfect, because we're striving to always be the best version of ourselves. And there's going to be days when I can't get off the couch either. So we have to listen to our bodies.
Right.
The thing is to make sure we don't get into that slump, right? That, you know, well, now it's the third day. What's going on?
Yeah.
So, you know, give yourself a hall pass for a day here and there, but it can't become slipping back into an old habit.
Right. And I think too, same thing like with eating. I see so many people go, oh, well, I already blew it for the day, so now I'm just going to, you know, go crazy the rest of the day or the rest of the week. No, just enjoy whatever you want to eat, and then make that next good decision the next time you go eat. Just because you eat bad for one meal doesn't mean the rest of the week has to be thrown out the window. You know, it's just taking small chunks, that next decision. And that's why I really like breaking things down too into small goals and baby chunks to do that.
Absolutely. I'm totally agreement. So what else would you like to share with us today?
Well, you know, it's about 30 minutes. That's probably good. I mean, I wish, you know, I'm happy. I don't know how this is going to be posted, but if anybody ever, you know, wants to post any questions, I'm happy to, you know, someone posts a question, go answer it. But really, you know, if you have any interest in learning more about chemical free, that is really my passion, and I would love to talk to you. So, you know, you can message me on Facebook, connect with me. I'm on Instagram at Wellness with Colleen, and, you know, communicate there, and I can share, I'd love to share the Dirty Dozen with you, you know, that little, so if you can start, again, just creating that awareness, because you will be amazed if you can slowly start getting those toxins out, what you will see the difference. And there's a huge difference in children. If you have children, stories that I hear when people start getting these toxins out, the difference in their children is pretty phenomenal too. And
I can only imagine we could eradicate ADHD if we paid attention to things.
I won't make that claim, but
I'm just imagining.
yes.
But in the event, well, thank you so much, Colleen. We'll again, we'll post this on there for everybody that wasn't able to make it live today, and that way they'll be able to get in touch with you. But I'm so glad we got to reconnect, and excited for my book. So health and wellness.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was so good to reconnect with you, and I look forward to staying in touch and answering anybody's questions in any way. All right. Anything to do with health and wellness. I'm passionate about it.
Have a great week. Take care. Bye.